Hello friends, it's Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, with a review of the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. So I'm not usually one who does a lot of preparing in advance for the holidays, but since I didn't have a Halloween or really any dark themed deck, I decided to get, again, the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot deck to play with for Halloween and to have something a little on the dark side. There is a box, but it's a US Game Systems throwaway type box. I did keep it, but I didn't, I think I'll be throwing it away shortly because I'm going to modify this deck. I am going to trim this deck. So I love it. It's a really fun deck. I haven't really started using it a lot, but I wanted to do a review because I am going to be modifying it. So I will do another one. When I've modified it, I'll do a short one, and then after I've used it a bit, I'll do a short one. And I wanted to show you, I'm mummified. You know, since I didn't use the box, you know, I hate stuffing these cards, any cards, back into a flimsy box. And so it was a bit of a problem, but I don't know, I was in the way of one of my ace bandages for some reason. I thought, oh, that's great. I'll mummify my Ghosts and Spirits Tarot, and that's the way I'll keep them. So, for anyone who has ace band, obviously not the sticky kind, the old-fashioned kind, this is how I have been keeping my Ghosts and Spirits Tarot. But I hope at some point that will not be the case, that I'll find a better way, because that's a hassle. Both unwrapping it and wrapping it with any frequency is a hassle. So, the gist of this deck is that even though it's a tarot deck, so there are 78 cards, 79 actually, they've got an extra in here, they're all stories. They're all ghost stories, and that's what charmed me initially. So how cool is that? I get a deck full of ghost stories. So here we have the King of Swords is the Headless Horseman. And so some of them are like that, kind of folk tales. Some of them come directly from literature. We have the House of Usher. We have two ghosts from the plays of Shakespeare, and then we have things that are a little bit more general, like the Banshee. You know, Banshee is more a type of spirit or ghost, and then we have ones that are like Ekimu, which is more specific, or the Headless Horseman, which is more specific. So a great variety in here, a great variety of cultures. I think what she's done, this is Lisa Hunt, I think what she's done is fantastic in terms of research. Some of these are short and cursory. I would be inclined to maybe look them up online to get some more depth, although this one has quite a lot to tell the story. But still, I'm hoping that as time goes on and I use these cards, I get more detailed versions of each of these stories. So it is a deck that you're going to have to study to some extent. Also, what she has in here is she has the story. We're back to the Headless Horseman here. She has the story, and then she has the divinatory meaning, which is a traditional Rider-Waite meaning, a powerful masculine presence for the King of Swords. May cross your path and shake you out of complacency. So that doesn't work for me, actually. That does not work for me. This deck doesn't work for me as a traditional tarot deck. I'm glad she did, I'm glad she did this, because that means she's got 78 stories. So she was like, instead of a lesser oracle deck that doesn't have as many cards, you know, she stretched and got 78 stories, which I just think is so cool. But I'm not going to use those divinatory meanings. It doesn't make any sense to have the story in a divinatory meaning. I couldn't care less. If I just wanted this straight divinatory meaning, I would just use I just use a standard Rider-Waite deck. You know, so I expect that she felt obligated to do that, or something, or wanted it to be for people who could use it both ways. Maybe if you don't have your standard Rider-Waite, you can use this in that regard. But it just doesn't hold, you know? It just doesn't work for me. So what I've done is this, and I'll show you a bunch of the cards. I've got these laid out here because I've been writing on them. My intention, look at that ghoul, look at that ghostly figure there. My intention is to trim the deck. This is the first deck I think I've gotten where straight out of the box I thought the borders have to go. I'm really not a border trimmer. I'm not a crafty person. It annoys the heck out of me. I don't want to do it. But the borders have to come off of these. And I'm going to take these, the Knight of Swords, all of the traditional tarot references I'm taking right off. So all I've got is the ghoul. And since I'm not, and this also, Knight of Swords, is kind of useless. You know, I don't know. So she's got them in here, according to that, like King of Swords. And then she has, in parentheses, Headless Horseman. Well, to me, the most important thing is that it's the Headless Horseman. But I have no way of looking these up in the book. If I take this Knight of Swords off of here, I have no way of looking it up in the book. This is, so this is the Knight of Swords, Ekimu. So what I've done, is I've put Ekimu down here. I've written on the cards. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. And then I put the page number that it's on. So, yeah, so they all, and I put them in different places. Hers is down here, you know, wherever it just seemed to be appropriate. And Giselle's is up here. Okay. So I varied where I've put them. Some of them are nearly hidden. But I'm going to eliminate these references here, and then as I'm learning the cards, or, you know, I can't imagine how much time it would take for me to memorize all of these fairy tales, because they're from, I mean, there's some from Hawaii, there might even be some from the Outback. Just, she's taking them from everywhere. So there's plenty that I'm unfamiliar with. Some from Asia. In fact, I would have to say the majority of them, because I've never been a scary movie person. I've never been I've never been that much into spooky things. I mean, Halloween was fun, you know, when I was a kid and dressed up, but I'm not into the ghoulishness of it. But I do love the folktale aspect that's kind of all over in this deck. And, okay, so I'm loving the deck, and I have a dog that's thinking maybe it's time to go out. So I'm going to show you most of them here. Maybe I'll do a flip through of all of them. And I'm not going to tell you what they are. I'm just going to run through them so you can see the images. This is the Banshee. Maybe I will tell you. Headless Horseman. Zombies. So this is one that's just kind of general. Zombies. Glam. I had no idea who that was. Very generalized. Battlefield ghosts. Ghost of Banquo. So there's a Shakespearean ghost. Poltergeist. Black Dogs. Oops, the Queen of Cups is upside down. She is Groa. Here's the Ghost of Hamlet's father. A Ghoul. La Llorona. I was happy to see that in here. La Llorona. The dolphin, that's from Mexico. This is from Brazil. Dolphin shapeshifters. Encantados. Undine. Mrs. Wessington's Ghost. That's from, I think, another story. Asperas and Gandharvas. This is actually Hindu, or it's Indian ghosts. Giselle. Isabella. This is from, I think they said, from a Keats poem. Duppy, which is from, I believe, some Caribbean island. Enkidu. Yeah. Which I believe again is maybe Hindu. Okay. Earl Koenig. Okay, so there's lots of opportunities here to slaughter other languages. Lots and lots of opportunities to slaughter other languages. I'm assuming that's German. Quay, I believe that's an Asian one. The Flying Dutchman, Davy Jones' Locker, Revenants. And this shouldn't be Liba's Deception. It should be the guy's name, but I can't remember, and I don't remember what country that's from. Some Northern European. El Dorado, The North Wind, Der Schimmelreiter, Jack Frost, kind of an odd one there, but Moss Maidens. I have no idea how to put Kalich Bur, Anku. Another Asian one. Day of the Dead, Doppelganger, Shellycoat, Ghost of Oiwa, again another Asian ghost. Fairbrow, Ghost of Samuel, biblical ghost here. Sybil, Leshy, Judgment, so an Egyptian, Judgment of the Dead. Herne the Hunter, good old Celtic, lots of Celtic ghosts and spirits. White Ladies, Hiku, Will-o'-the-Wisp, or a Cherry, La Danse Macabre, Grateful Dead. I'm sorry, but I can only think of the musical group, so it makes me laugh. Aeneas, yeah. Aeneas, I believe is how you say that. Aeneas's Journey to the Underworld, okay, from one of the Greek myths. Clouds People, Shiwana, The House of Usher for the Tower. Some of these are very appropriate, and some of them are stretches or have almost nothing to do with it, which is another reason, as far as I'm concerned, to just take the tarot associations just off of there. Jacob Marley, couldn't have this without Jacob Marley. Swan Maiden, Grim Reaper. That's probably the only direct tarot association in the deck. The Wild Hunt, Snow Ghost, Undead or Vampires, Hungry Ghosts, Spectre Bridegroom, Psychopomp, Dryads, Mummy, Ka specifically, Apparition, Dragon Ghost Gods, Guardian Spirit, and over here, drying from being inked, drying from my writing, so I'm not going to show them to you, but I might be able to read them. Rubizal. So just a real variety here. Rubizal, animism, which is the only thing that's sort of a theory. It's kind of a theory. Animism. Menehune. It's Hawaiian. Cobalt. So you can see these are all pentacles. These are Sir Simon de Canterville. Okay. Tornak. Very northern. I don't recall if it's Eskimo or the Unquiet Grave. These are the very last I was doing. Wanjina. Yeah, such a wide variety of creepiness, and of course some of them aren't. Dryads are not creepy to me. Manes, again, heavy duty on the massacre of non-English languages. Lares and Lemures, which I believe they said was Roman or Latin or something like that. And then there's this wonderful card of the artist. And so I'm not sure what to do with this. What to make of this. She didn't give it a name, and it's supposed to be the artist's card, which just cracks me up. Okay, so that's it. This is the deck with my writing on it. And you can see I wrote it in ways that sometimes are glaring and sometimes they're not. You can't really see that one. And I intend to trim it, and then I'll be back for a short so you can see it trimmed. And I've just started to use this deck. I'm not sure whether it's just going to be an entertainment deck or whether I'm going to get real readings out of it, good readings. And so I've got some people who are going to be helping me, volunteering to have some readings done and give me feedback. And so once I've gone through all of this process, I'll be back and give you a more, show you what they look like trimmed, and give a review on how readable it is. All right, everybody. Thanks. I hope you found this useful if you're considering this deck.